I'll wait one more minute. Please do allow us to join, okay? So hope you can hear me. So I'm going to start. So let me introduce myself. I'll present my screen. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Okay. Okay, so myself, Renji, I'm a student in computer science, and I'll be taking the humanities paper, professional communication for you. Okay, I think this is the first class, and I will introduce to you the subject, a brief introduction to the subject. First of all, I will introduce the syllabus to you so that you will be familiar with what the subject is and what the contents are. Okay, have you seen the syllabus for the subject? Have you ever gone through the syllabus for this subject, professional communication? Anyone? No? Okay. So, let us just go through the syllabus and then we will start the class. So, are you able to see the screen? Can you see the screen? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your response. Thank you. So, this is humanities paper, and hence the code is HUN, and the code number is 102. Okay, HUN 102. And the name of this course is Professional Communication. Clear, the name of your course is Professional Communication, and this is a non-mandatory credit course. Non-MNC, there is non-mandatory credit course. And here, there is no credit for this subject, which means there is no university exam for this subject, but it is a mandatory course. There will be two evaluations. There will be internal as well as external evaluations, and which includes a total of 2 lecture and 2 practical hours. Mostly it is practical oriented with a few lecture hours also. Anyway, equal importance is given to both lecture hours as well as practical hours. Is it clear? You have to attend all the classes, you have to satisfy all the criteria put forward by KTU, and you have to attend all the internal evaluations, and also you have to attend end semester exam, which will be conducted by the college, and only after you clear that subject, you will be able to complete this course. Otherwise, unless you complete this course, you won't be able to get a degree. But even though there is no university exam, so it is a mandatory course. Okay, there will be 2 evaluations, that is continuous internal evaluation, and there will be end semester evaluation also. So the total mark for this subject is out of 100. Out of this 100, 50 marks will be for continuous internal evaluation, and 50 marks will be for end semester evaluation. And this end semester evaluation is just like a university exam for 2 hours duration. And you will be given theory questions, and you have to answer the questions out of 50. And continuous internal evaluation for 50 marks. It includes the following. The continuous internal evaluation for 50 marks is split up as follows. That is, attendance, you will get 10 marks. If you are attending the whole class, you will get 10 marks. Then regular assessment is for 25 marks. That will happen throughout the semester. Regular assessment for 25 marks. Then there is one series test that will be for 15 marks. Anyway, it will be conducted for 50 marks and it will be reduced to 50 marks. There is only one series test, but that series test will be for 50 marks, but it is not yet decided. It will be decided by the college whether there is one or two. So anyway, it will be conducted for 50 marks and finally it will be converted to 15 marks. So this attendance mark, if you are attending the whole session, you will get 10 marks. And if you are doing all the assessments given to you, all the practical assignments given to you, you will get 25 marks. It will be evaluated and based on your attempt, you will be given the marks out of 25. And finally, the series exam will carry 15 marks. And this is how 50 marks is distributed, 10, 25 and 15. Then this regular assessment for 25 marks again is split up into the project presentation report and technical presentation. You will have to present a PPT regarding some technical topics, and out of which it will be evaluated out of 7.5. Then there is a listening test for 5 marks. Then there is GD or mock interview for 7.5 marks. And there is resume submission for 5 marks. So this 25 marks distribution is like this. There is project report or PPT. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. If you cannot hear me, just inform. Okay, just unmute your mic and say, okay. Okay, thank you, thank you. So did you understand the mark distribution? The total marks for this subject will be 100. Out of 100, 50 marks is internal evaluation, continuous internal evaluation, and 50 marks is external evaluation, for which you have to write an exam, and just like you attend a university exam, you have to score marks for that 50 mark for that exam out of 50. It will be of 2 hours duration. And the internal evaluation marks out of 50 is again split as follows. As I said, 10 marks for attendance, 25 for regular assessment, and 15 for series. The series test will be conducted out of 50 marks and it will be converted to 15. And this 25 marks split up is like it is split into 4. That is, one is for your PPT presentation on some technical topic. It will be evaluated out of 7.5 and marks will be given out of 7.5. If your presentation is good, you will be given maximum marks. Then you will get 5 for listening test will be given, and for which you will be given 5 marks. Then there is GD or mock interview, 7.5 marks, and resume submission. You have to build your resume and submit it, for which you will be given 5 marks. So this is continuous evaluation, and dates will be announced later. Okay. Any doubt? Hello? Can you see the screen? Okay, okay. There was some connection problem in between. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So this is how the syllabus is distributed, and let us see the first module. There are few questions given in your syllabus. These are model questions. And finally, the module 1. Let me go through your module 1. So, module 1 is about use of language in communication. So, this subject, the course outcome, that is, after studying the subject, the university has put forward the course outcomes that you should attain. That is, the course outcome is develop vocabulary and language skills relevant to engineering as a profession. So you are going to be engineers, and being engineers, you should be thorough in your language. You should be able to communicate well in your English, and so the subject has been included to develop your vocabulary and language skills. Okay. So what did I say just now? What was the first course outcome? What was the first course outcome? Anyone? What was the first course outcome? You can type in your chat box. See, there is one module called listening skills. You have to listen to whatever I am saying, and you will have to write it down. Or you will be given an audio, you have to write down what you had listened to. Okay, so listening abilities can be checked by asking questions like this. So can anyone say what was the first course outcome which I had said right now? Hello? Anyone? Can anyone unmute yourself and say? Please respond, okay? Yeah, develop your vocabulary. What is vocabulary? What is vocabulary? That is your first module. You have to study vocabulary in your first module. Okay, so vocabulary means the amount of the knowledge of your the capacity of words that you're able to use when you are writing or when you're speaking. So the knowledge of the strength of the word power that you have when you use a particular language is what is known as vocabulary. The collection of words that you're familiar with, and the knowledge of the meanings of the words that you know constitute the vocabulary, and the entire vocabulary, a strong vocabulary is a must for you to use the language in both writing and speaking. So the first course outcome is to develop vocabulary and language skills, and the second outcome is to analyze, interpret, and effectively summarize textual content. That is through comprehension, composition, etc. You have to read through the passage and analyze what is written in those passages and interpret yourselves. Then technical presentation, that is what I have to evaluate for 7.5 marks. You have to choose a technical topic and present it using PPTs. Then there is group discussion and how you present yourselves in groups. And the next outcome is identifying the drawbacks in listening patterns. So you should listen to languages and carefully understand the what is being said, and you have to analyze what is being said. Then create professional and technical documents, like you might be presenting your seminars, you might be doing your project work in final semester, so you have to prepare the technical documents like seminar reports, project reports, etc. So this subject, it aims to help you to do all these, to achieve all these abilities. Okay, is it clear? Hello, is it clear? Okay, so, okay, So to develop reports or to prepare your project reports or to prepare your seminar reports or even to prepare your presentations, to present these reports, seminar and project work, you have to follow certain ethics in presentation, and all these are covered in this subject. And the first module is about communication, use of language in communication, then the significance of technical communication. Technical communication is different from general communication. So what is the difference between a technical communication and a general communication? Then next is vocabulary development. How to develop a strong vocabulary. That is, you have to learn new words, and how you have to use these words in your technical presentations as well as in your day-to-day life. So how can we learn new words? Now it includes technical vocabulary, then vocabulary used in formal letters, emails, and reports, then sequence words, misspelled words, that is, words that are often misspelled. Spellings are often written wrongly. You have to identify those words which are often misspelled, and you have to correct the words. Then there are certain words used as compound words. Then finding suitable synonyms. Synonyms means if you're given a particular word, you have to find out other words which are similar to that particular word. Then paraphrasing, identifying this documents into paras. Then verbal analogies. Then language development, that is, you have to understand the basic concepts, basic rules in grammar, especially the subject verb agreement. You have to use the language properly. You have to understand the rules of grammar and use the sentences properly, build sentences properly. And that in that section we have to cover subject verb agreement, then personal passive voice, numerical adjectives, then embedded sentences, clauses, conditionals, reported speech, then active and passive voice. So this there is a bit of grammar, there is a bit of vocabulary building. Then another communication is technology-based communication. That is how we are using technology in our day-to-day life to communicate with others, and especially we use email messages, then slide presentations, then editing skills using software. All these skills, how we are using in our day-to-day life. That is about that is all discussed in first module. Then modern day research and study skills, that include search engines like Google search engine. We search for information on the internet using different search engines. Then there are repositories for information. Then forums such as GitHub, Stack Exchange, OSS communities like MOOC, Swayam, NPTEL, etc. So, and finally, what is plagiarism checking? These are the contents of first module, and I hope, do you have the textbook of first module? Do you know the textbook? Have you seen this book? This book covers the first module. Do you have that copy of that book? Do you have that book with you? Okay. So this book covers the entire first module. Okay. So the contents of this book, that is the use of language in communication, significance of technical communication, and whatever is stated in the syllabus is given in this book. The entire contents gives the first module. See, as I said, the last columns, all the columns, and last section plagiarism is written here. So the first section is about the use of language in communication. So before going on to the use of language in communication, let us understand what communication is. Okay. So today I will give you a brief introduction to what communication is. Before that, did you understand the syllabus and how marks are distributed? If you have any doubt, you can just ask me even after the class. Okay. Is it clear to you? Hello? Okay. If you have any doubt, you just ask, okay? Unmute and ask. So now I will start with a brief introduction to what communication is. Okay. So let me share you my slide. So basics of technical communication. So we have heard of the word communication, isn't it? This word communication, it is derived from a Latin word called communicare, which means to share. So the Latin word communicare is the root word for this English word communication. So we say that this particular word communication, it has its root in the Latin word communicare, and the meaning of communicare is to share. Okay, is it clear? Now, the process of communication. So what is the meaning of communication? From where did this word come from? Anyone? Let me see whether you have listened to what I have said. What is the meaning of this word? From where did this word communication derive? From where is it derived? From the Latin word? What is that word? What is that Latin word? Communicare. Okay, communicare. And what is the meaning of communicare? What is the meaning of communicare? To share. Yes. So the word communication comes from the Latin word communicare, which means to share. And I find that this communication, from your response, I find that my communication was effective because I am getting response from so many of you. I'm getting correct answers to my question, which means that my communication was effective. Okay, so that was an effective communication since I'm getting responses from your side. So let me see the slide. So this is the word communication. It comes from the Latin word communicare, which means to share. Then next, let us see the process of communication. What is this process of communication? So this process of communication, it involves transmission and exchange of ideas. So now I had transmitted some idea to you, and I have exchanged some idea to you. You have received that idea, and you are responding back with the questions which I had asked, responding to the questions which I am asking. So it is just an exchange of ideas, or it can be some facts in the real world, then or some feelings, or some course of action. So exchanging all these things, we call it as process of communication. So communication is a two-way process. That's what I said now. I have communicated something to you and you had responded back. That means it is a two-way process of exchanging ideas and information. I had passed some information to you, and with a single person, communication will not occur. You need a sender as well as a receiver. So I was the sender, you were the receiver, and you had received what I had said and you had responded to what I had said. That means the communication was effective. So communication is a two-way process of exchanging ideas and information. So this is general communication when we speak of communication in general. And for any organization to survive, it needs effective communication. Without communication, no organization can come to the forefront. So no organization can survive without communication. So every organization, even in your family, you need proper communication in order to survive and in order to live happily. So without proper communication, you cannot exchange your what is in your mind. So communication is necessary in our day-to-day life as well as in our professional environment, that is organization, or whether it can be academic organization or other technical organizations. You need proper communication for the organization to survive. Is it clear? So in general, we can define communication as exchange of ideas. Communication is the exchange of ideas, and it is a two-way process. Okay, is it clear to you? Hello. Okay. So, what is the importance of communication? We need to communicate with each other. We not only communicate with each other, but we can communicate in different ways. Like you put your alarm, you set your alarm for a particular time in the morning, and the alarm rings. You wake up when the alarm rings, and this device is communicating to you to wake up at 6 p.m., 6 a.m. Okay, so there is a communication not only between human beings but also between devices and between the environment, human beings and environment. So we can classify communication into different categories based on all these factors. But in general, communication is nothing but exchanging information from one entity to another. The entity can be a human being, or the entities can be any devices. Like when we come to IoT and all, information is exchanged between devices. So anyway, communication between two entities or exchanging of information between two entities is what is known as communication. The entities can be human entities or any other devices. Is it clear? So it isn't necessary that always human beings must be involved on both the ends. It can be between a human being or another physical device, or it can be between two devices, or it can be between a device and a human being, etc. Okay, is it clear? Hello. Okay. So these are the importance of technical communication. Now, what is technical communication? Why do we call it as technical communication? Communication happens in our day-to-day life, but what is technical communication? Let me take this slide. There are two types of communication, that is general communication and technical communication. What is the difference between general communication and what is technical communication? What is general communication and what is technical communication or professional communication? So general communication, we pass general messages, and these messages may not have a proper format. It can be in simple words. The words may not be grammatically correct. It can be using actions, or just like asking, you're nodding your head when you, if I ask you if you understand what I'm saying, then if it is in a classroom environment, you might nod your head. This is one form of communication, nodding your head, then telling somebody to come in by waving your hand, etc. These are all communication, but there are less words involved, and also it is not formal. There is no specific format for the communication. Then such a communication is called general communication. There is no specific format. If there is no specific formality for communication, then it comes under general communication. Then what is technical communication? It contains a technical message, and it has a specific formal form. It has a specific format. That is, we call it as formal communication. So here in general communication, it can be informal communication, and technical communication, it is often a formal method of communication. And in general communication, there is no pattern of communication. That is, you can communicate your ideas, and you're not waiting for somebody to respond. You're just communicating what you want to say. Whereas in technical communication, it follows a set pattern. That is, if you want to inform something to the authority, you have to go through the proper channel of communication. Only then you can reach the top authority. You have to go to the senior manager, and the senior manager will go to the general manager, and so on. So there is a pattern of communication to be followed in technical communication. And in general communication, there is no specific pattern to be followed. Then mostly general communication is oral. We don't ask our parents to give us money to buy our books in writing, isn't it? Do you ask your parent to give money to buy a book in writing form, in written form? Do you write to your parent to give me money? as a letter? Anyone? No, we just ask them. Well, you just ask your parent to give me money. I want to buy a book. So that's all. Well, so in general communication, we don't use any written form. We just use words or actions. Okay. So it is mostly in oral form. Oral means through speech. Then technical communication, it needs both oral as well as written form. In certain cases, you need oral form because we want to present a seminar. And seminar presentation, you cannot give it in writing. Can you give your seminar presentation in written form? Can you give your seminar presentation, put your seminar in written form or your project presentation in written form alone? Can you submit your project report and say that this is okay, this is my project? No, you have to present your project, you have to present your seminar. So it needs both oral form as well as written form. You have to prove that what you had done in your project using your project report. So for all these, for preparing your project report or preparing your seminar report, there are specific formats. So if something follows a specific format, then we call it as formal. And if there are no specific formats, we call it as informal. So two words you might have come across now, what is formal and what is informal. Formal has no specific, informal has no specific formats, whereas formal has specific formats to be followed. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So general communication is mostly oral, whereas technical communication, it takes place in both oral and written form. Next, general communication is not always for a specific audience. You speak it to your friends, you speak to your friends, your neighbors, etc. And you are not focusing on a specific audience. But for technical communication, you have a specific audience. You are presenting your project work to your supervisors, and you have a particular aim for presenting your project, that is to gain marks for what you have done. So with an aim and to a specific audience, you are reporting something, then we call it as technical communication. Okay. So another difference is that in general communication, it does not involve the use of technical vocabulary. The technical terms, we didn't use any technical terms or any technical or any graphics or figures for communication. You don't need any graph to represent ideas. You just use informal language and you use normal words for communication. You don't go for technical, but there are certain words we use in our day-to-day life. But apart from that, we don't go for technical words, pure technical words for general communication. Whereas in technical communication, it frequently involves jargons, graphics. Graphics means if you want to demonstrate something, you can use graphs to graphs to demonstrate the variation in certain values, etc. You can demonstrate it using graphs. And jargon means there are certain terms associated with certain technology. Like a typical example of a jargon word is cloud computing. Have you heard of cloud computing? A technical word which acts as a jargon word. Have you heard of cloud computing? Yes, what is cloud computing? You want to run a program, a particular program, but your system is not capable to run that program, or you don't have the software to run that program in your system. So what we do is we depend on some other system somewhere in the internet, somewhere else, and we upload the program, and the program is executed by a server machine which is somewhere else, and we have our system don't have the capacity. It is executing our program and then giving us back the result through the net. So you need a network connection, but it is if your system is not able to do a work, some other system is doing that work and giving us the result. So that system, it is just like we are giving something to the cloud and getting back data from there. And this word, when normal people hear this word cloud computing, they might think how this cloud is able to compute. So we call such words which give us some misunderstanding as jargon words in technical communication. Okay, in technology we use certain jargon words, and an example is this because it is not suited to its original meaning. That is, clouds cannot compute, we know, but we are using that term to represent some other thing. So we call it as jargons. Okay. So technical communication, they often involve jargons, then graphics, etc. Is it clear? So can anyone say the difference between a general communication and technical communication? Any one difference between technical communication and general communication? Any one difference? If you were listening, then you could have answered. Okay, Ashwin. General communication is informal communication. Very good. So you should try to speak. Okay, you should unmute and speak. Only then you will develop your language. General communication is informal. Then what is the other communication? What is, you said Ashwin, general is informal communication. So what is technical communication? What do you call technical communication? What do you call technical communication? Opposite of informal. Oh yes, formal communication. So when you say the difference, you should say for both. For general communication is informal, then you should say technical communication is formal. Then any other difference? Any other difference? Yes, general communication is mostly oral communication. We don't need any written form. We just need to communicate our ideas to others. Maybe your parents, your friends, or family. Okay, so it is generally oral communication. You are just speaking to others. And so, what is technical communication? If general communication is oral, then what is technical communication? Akshara. Hello. Then technical communication needs to be both oral as well as written. Okay, technical communication is most often oral and written. Maybe for some cases you need both oral and written. Some cases you just need oral communication, but most of the cases you need both oral as well as written communication. Okay, is it clear? So mostly oral, then informal and formal usage. There is no pattern of communication for general communication. It follows a set pattern. As I said, if you want, if the if the employees at the bottommost level, if they want to communicate some idea to the general manager, they have to go to their senior managers, and the senior manager will forward the request to the general manager. So there is a pattern of communication in technical communication, but general communication, there is no specific pattern of communication. Okay. The third difference is there is a specific pattern of communication in technical communication, whereas there is no definite pattern of communication in general communication. Is it clear? Okay. If you want to inform something to your father, you needn't go via your mother. You can just directly inform, isn't it? So there is no specific pattern in general communication, but there is specific pattern in technical communication. Okay, so there is no specific pattern in general communication, but there is specific pattern in technical communication. Is it clear? So another thing I want to tell you is you should have a notebook for this technical communication subject. Since it's the first day, I didn't tell you to take the book. From the next class onwards, you should have a notebook ready. Okay, and you have to write down what I am explaining. You have to write down the lecture notes, and I will tell you to submit my notes. And whenever I tell you to submit my notes, you should take the photo of your notes and upload it in Limbase. So be ready with your notebook every hour of professional communication. After, I might tell you to submit just immediately after the hour, so you have to submit it. So be ready with your notebook, and I don't want you to copy from others' book, because you have to develop your vocabulary. You cannot copy vocabulary from others. So you have to develop your own vocabulary. So you have to take strain in studying new things. So keep a notebook. An 80 pages notebook is enough, but keep a notebook specifically for this professional communication. Okay. Did you hear what I'm saying? Inform others, those who didn't hear me and those who have lost their connection. Okay, from next class onwards, I want a notebook. I will be dictating something. You will have to write it down in your notebook, and I will be giving you some vocabulary questions, anonymous questions and all. You will have to answer the question by writing it in your notebook, and finally you have to upload it. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Okay. Okay, thank you. Now say your attendance, please. Say your attendance. Number 1.
Present.
Number 2.
Present.
Number 3. Just call your numbers. Number 3 present, and can continue. Number 3. Absent. Number 4.
4.
Number 4.
4 present.
Okay, number 5.
Present, ma'am.
Number 6.
Present, ma'am.
Number 7.
Present, ma'am.
Number 8.
Present, ma'am.
Number 9.
Present, ma'am.
Number 10.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, so you can type in your chat box also. Number 10 present. Number 11.
Present, ma'am.
12.
Present.
13.
Present, ma'am.
14.
Present, ma'am.
15.
Present, ma'am.
16.
Present, ma'am.
17.
Present, ma'am.
18.
Present, ma'am.
19.
Present, ma'am.
20.
Present, ma'am.
21.
Present, ma'am.
22.
Present, ma'am.
23.
Present, ma'am.
24.
Present, ma'am.
25.
Present, ma'am.
26.
Present, ma'am.
27.
Present, ma'am.
28.
Present, ma'am.
29.
Present, ma'am.
30.
Present, ma'am.
31.
Present, ma'am.
32.
Present, ma'am.
33.
Present, ma'am.
34.
Present, ma'am.
35. Nabil.
Present.
36.
Present, ma'am.
37.
Present, ma'am.
38.
Present, ma'am.
39. 39. Number 39. 40.
Present, ma'am.
41.
Present, ma'am.
42. Neha or 42?
മാം 39% ആണ്.
39. ആരുടെ പേര് പറഞ്ഞു?
സദഫ്, മുഹമ്മദ് സദഫ്.
Okay, okay, 39. 39. എവിടെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ലാസ്റ്റ് കോൾ ചെയ്തത്? 40. നേഹയുടെ നമ്പർ എന്തായിരുന്നു? നേഹ, വാട്ട്സ് യുവർ നമ്പർ? Number 40. Go 40, 40. Number 40, 40. 41.
Present, ma'am.
42.
Present, ma'am.
43.
Present, ma'am.
44.
Present, ma'am.
45.
Present, ma'am.
46.
Present, ma'am.
47.
Present, ma'am.
48.
Present, ma'am.
49. Number 49. 50.
Ma'am.
Sarangano 50. Okay. 51.
Present, ma'am.
52.
Present, ma'am.
Channel 52.
Present.
53.
Present, ma'am.
54.
Present, ma'am.
55. 55. Siddharthano 55.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. 56.
Present, ma'am.
57.
Present, ma'am.
58.
Present, ma'am.
59.
Present, ma'am.
60.
Present, ma'am.
61.
Present, ma'am.
62.
Present, ma'am.
63.
Present, ma'am.
So absent is number 3. 3. Number 3 present. Number 40. Is number 40 are you present? And number 49. Number 49. Number 52. Number 3, 40, 49 and 52 absentees. Number 3, 40, 49 and 52. Please note the numbers and just inform them, okay? 52 present. What's your name, Shannon? Okay. 49, 40, 49 and number 3. So 3 of them are absent today. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.